What do you think your dog sees when they look at you? Your face, your smile, the expressions you make? Here's the strange truth. Your dog has never actually seen your face clearly, not the way another human does, and yet somehow they still know exactly who you are, how you're feeling, and whether today was a good day or a terrible one. So if they can't truly see your face, how do they recognize you instantly? How do they know when you're sad, even when you try to hide it? And most importantly, do dogs think humans are just weird-looking dogs? The answer is far stranger than most people expect. Because the moment your dog met you for the very first time, their brain had to do something unusual, something it almost never does for any other creature on Earth. Your brain didn't break, but theirs did not in a bad way. All right? But when your dog first met you, their brain had a small problem. Dogs have a built-in system for recognizing other dogs. Their brain is designed to instantly identify things like body shape, movement patterns, ear position, tail signals, scent. All of this allows dogs to quickly determine that's another dog. But when they looked at you, something didn't match. You didn't smell like a dog. You didn't move like a dog. You didn't sound like a dog. And your body shape made absolutely no sense to their brain. So instead of forcing you into the dog category, their brain did something extraordinary. It created a completely new category just for humans. Neuroscientists studying canine brains discovered something fascinating. When a dog looks at another dog, certain parts of their brain activate. But when they look at a human face, a different region lights up entirely. Their brain processes humans differently than any other animal. To your dog, you are not simply a strange dog. You are something entirely unique, something their brain recognizes as its own special kind of being. And that separation is actually the foundation of the incredible bond dogs form with humans. But here's where things get even stranger. Because despite recognizing you instantly, your dog still can't actually see your face clearly. Your dog has never seen your face clearly. This surprises almost everyone, but dogs are naturally nearsighted. Anything very close to their eyes becomes blurry, which means when your dog looks directly at your face, the details are softer than you think. Dogs also see colors very differently from humans. Right? Their world is mostly made up of blues, yellows, muted, gray tones. So the exact features that make your face unique, your dog doesn't perceive them the way people do, and yet somehow they still recognize you instantly. This is where dogs become almost unfairly good at something humans struggle with: reading movement. Your dog doesn't identify you primarily by your face. They identify you by how you walk, how you reach for objects, how you stand the rhythm of your movements. Your body language is like a fingerprint to them. Even small details matter. The way you grab your keys, the way you move when you're tired, the tiny shift in your posture when you're stressed. Dogs track these patterns constantly, without effort, without thinking, which explains something many dog owners notice. Your dog can tell the difference between grabbing your keys to leave the house, grabbing your keys to take them on a walk, same keys, same drawer, but to your dog, the movement pattern is completely different, and once they learn it, they never forget. Why dogs tilt their heads? You know that adorable head tilt dogs do when you talk to them? Most people think it's just cute, but it's actually your dog trying to solve a problem because their vision isn't perfect up close. Tilting their head changes the angle of their eyes. This allows them to see your face slightly more clearly. Every time your dog tilts their head at you, they are literally trying to get a better look at you. Think about that for a moment. Something you always thought was just adorable is actually your dog trying harder to understand you. But even vision and movement aren't the most powerful way dogs recognize people. There's something else they rely on far more, and it's something humans are almost completely blind to. Your dog can smell your emotions. You may think you're good at hiding your feelings. Maybe you had a terrible day at work. Maybe something stressful happened. Maybe you walked through the door trying to act normal, but your dog already knew before you even said a word. Dogs have around 300 million scent receptors in their noses. Humans have about 6 million. That means your dog's sense of smell is tens of thousands of times stronger than yours. When you're stressed, Your body releases chemical signals through sweat, breath, skin. Humans can't detect them, but dogs absolutely can. In fact, a 2022 study from Queen's University Belfast tested this directly. Researchers collected sweat samples from people before stress, after stress. Dogs were able to correctly identify the stressed samples 93% of the time, without training, without cues, just by smelling. Which means when you walk through the door after a hard day, your dog already knows. They can literally smell your bad day. That's why sometimes your dog suddenly sticks close to you when you're upset. They're not guessing. They're responding to something their senses detected instantly. But this raises an interesting question. Why do dogs care so much about humans in the first place? The answer goes back thousands of years. Dogs evolved to connect with humans. There's a facial expression dogs make that wolves cannot. Though scientists discovered this in a fascinating study comparing the facial muscles of dogs and wolves. Dogs possess a small muscle above their inner eyebrow. Wolves don't. This tiny muscle allows dogs to raise their inner eyebrows, creating that famous puppy eyes expression, the one that melts humans instantly. This muscle likely evolved because of something powerful, human reaction. Dogs that made this expression were adopted more often, cared for, more protected more, over thousands of years. So this expression became genetically favored. Dogs literally evolved facial expressions that communicate better with humans. But the connection goes even deeper than facial expressions, because dogs and humans share something incredibly rare in nature, a biological bonding system, the chemical bond between dogs and humans. In 2015, scientists published a remarkable study in the journal Science. They measured a hormone called oxytocin in dogs and their owners. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone. It's released when parents hold newborn babies, couples hug humans, feel deep emotional connection. The researchers discovered something incredible. When a dog looks into their owner's eyes, right, both the dog and the human experience a surge of oxytocin at the same time. This creates a feedback loop. Dog looks at human. Oxytocin rises, human feels closer, gives affection. Dog feels that oxytocin rises again. The bond strengthens both ways. And here's the strangest part. Scientists repeated the experiment with wolves raised by humans. The oxytocin loop did not happen. This bond exists only between dogs and humans. It evolved over thousands of years of living together, which brings us to the final truth about how your dog sees you. You are not just a human to your dog. You're not simply the person who feeds them. You are not just the one who opens the door. And you are definitely not just a strange-looking dog to your dog. You are something far more important. You are their safest place, their emotional anchor, their chosen person. That's why dogs naturally gravitate toward one person in a household. It isn't always the one who feeds them. Research shows dogs prefer the person whose presence makes them feel calm. Someone who doesn't constantly demand things from them. Someone who simply exists beside them peacefully. Dogs interpret that relaxed presence as safety, which is why your dog often chooses to lie beside the same person again and again, even when food isn't involved. And it's also why when you leave the house, your dog often sleeps with something that smells like you, a jacket, a blanket, even a pair of worn socks. Your scent represents your presence. To them, it's the closest thing to having you there. So the next time your dog looks at you, remember something important. They may not see your face the way another human does, but they recognize something deeper. Your scent, your movements, your emotional state, your presence, and somewhere inside their brain, a bond exists that nature spent thousands of years building. To your dog, you're not just a person in their life. You are their entire world. And the incredible part, your dog decided that the moment they met you,